Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, my beautiful pen friends, and welcome to another video with your host, Andrew. Now, with the run-up to Christmas, I thought it'd be quite a good idea just to get an early head start on maybe giving some gift recommendations. So, what we're going to be looking at today is the Inkvent inks from Diamine, and I thought it'd be quite a good idea just to get an early head start, just to get some of those gift recommendations out there and see if this might be something which is of interest to you. So let's roll those titles and then find out how this ink performs. Right, so let's just do a little bit of background check on Diamine. Diamine have been in operation since 1864, and one fun little fact before we get into the review of this ink. In 2010, President Obama signed a nuclear arms treaty in Prague with Diamine Royal Blue. I thought that's quite a fun little fact, and there's a few more facts on Diamine's website, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. Okay, so let's have a look at this ink. So we've got the Diamine Inkvent Jack Frost, and just to give you a little bit of history about the Inkvent inks, they haven't been around all that long. Last year they did a calendar with 25 inks, and they were absolutely fantastic, and they've been so warmly received that they decided to then actually make these larger bottles, and these are absolutely glorious bottles, and you'll see that in a moment. Let's just have a look at this packaging before we open it up. I think this is absolutely fantastic. It really does give that sort of Christmas vibe. The illustrations on the back, on the front, really do give a lovely presentation. And then you've got a nice little cutout to show the ink on the inside, which is quite a clever way of cutting down the costs of actually having to label each individual box with different colours. I thought that's quite clever. So let's just open up the box and have a look and see what we have inside. Okay, so here's the real star of the show. This is such an elegant bottle. I love the feet, and you can get a really good clear view of the actual ink on the inside. Now there's a few points on here which I feel they could have improved upon. You've got this label on the front, and it's functional, but it really doesn't match the artwork to that of the beautifully presented box. I do wish that Diamine had maybe put a little bit more thought and care and attention into the label, and it's not exactly centered either. Now, I appreciate, when you're actually going into a manufacturing process, things can, especially if they're being hand labeled, not always match up, but I wish it had been. I know that might be nitpicking, but that's the only real sort of thing I can say about that. The cap is nice, it's functional, but again, I think they could have done something a little bit special with that. I wouldn't mind spending a few more pounds just for a little bit more extra presentation. Considering you can spend up to £90 plus on inks, this is really reasonable. I think I spent around about £12 on this ink, if memory serves. But this is available from various retailers like Colt Pens in the UK, and you can also get it on places like Amazon. I think the availability for these inks around the world does vary, especially if you go to places like America. With COVID, unfortunately, things have taken a bit of a back step in terms of actually being able to produce things for worldwide consumption. Hopefully next year that will improve. Right, so let's go over into a writing sample today. I've got 3 pens here, and I thought it'd be quite interesting to show how this how this ink actually reacts with these 3 different pens. So join me over in the writing sample.
Right, so we've got 3 pens for you today. We've got the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in Blue Hawaii. We've got a Twsbi Eco in white, and we've also got a Lamy Safari in my Sakura finish, and they're all gorgeous pens. This is actually a medium steel nib. I did write down fine, but yes, it's been a long week, so mistakes will be made, unfortunately, but I'm not going to waste paper. Anyway, so let's carry on with the actual writing samples, and we'll see how these pens react, and I'll just set the rest of this to some nice relaxing music. Okay, so we'll just correct that from a F to a medium. And yeah, well, what can I say about this ink? It's absolutely beautiful. In the Twsbi Eco, I think it really shines. It does pretty well in the Leonardo, and it does pretty well in the Lamy. I would certainly prefer it in the Eco or the Momento Zero, just purely because I feel that you can see a little bit more of the shading properties. And with this being a shimmer and sheening ink, you do, I feel, need something a bit broader. Still, if you do like a bit of a darker ink and you like that bronzing, it does work really, really well in the Lamy itself. So we'll just finish off doing these figure of eights, and then we will do a few dashes, and then we'll move on into the next section of this video where I'll sum up my thoughts and feelings of this ink. So thank you for bearing with me, and I shall see you in the next section.
Okay, right, before we actually get into the review of this ink, it's worth noting that there is a guide in here letting you know what paper to use, and it just talks a little bit about the sheening and shimmering properties of the ink as well. I thought that's quite nice, especially if you're new to collecting inks or new to fountain pens and you're not quite sure what shimmering shading is. So thank you, Diamine, that's really, really useful. Okay, so who is this ink for and who is it not for? So if you like medium, bold, bold or broad, one of the two, and you like stub nibs, definitely for you. If you like sheening and shading inks especially, then yes, certainly go and consider getting this ink. It is absolutely gorgeous. And all those various sort of colour elements with the bronze and the silver do work nicely. Although, that leads me on nicely to who's it not for. If you were expecting this ink to have a lot of silver in it, you may be disappointed. There is a lot of silver sediment on here, and if I shake it, it will go up into the ink. But depending on the nib and the feed reach you've got, it will react differently. I would say certainly the Twsbi Eco, it worked really well in. It worked okay in the Leonardo Momento Zero. But when you're looking at the Lamy Safari, it worked and it shows off a lot of the bronzing, but it doesn't really show any of that silver. And if it's the silver which you're after, then perhaps you might want to consider looking elsewhere. It would be quite nice if it was just like a blue and silver in that as well. I like the bronzing, but I just think for like the Christmas theme, maybe just keeping it to the blue and silvers would be fantastic. But again, I'm not a chemist. I don't really understand how the bronzing comes about, and it might be something which is unavoidable. So please forgive me and my ignorance on that respect. Okay. Going forwards on the channel, I would like to get some feedback. I want to know what you want to see a little bit more of. Do you want to see rollerballs? Do you want to see ballpoint pens? Do you want to see fine liners? Do you want to see more stationery or inks? Please do let me know in the comment section below. I will also be doing more sort of Christmas guide videos in the future. As I just think, going forwards, it would be quite a good little segment to try and offer on this channel, especially for trying to keep gifts under £50. That's sort of my ballpark figure. I was going to say ballpoint figure then, for some reason. I've got pens on the brain. Well, anyway, enough ranting. Yeah, so just let me know what you want to see. What sort of Christmas gift ideas do you have in the future? Or birthday presents, what would you want to see potentially reviewed as a gift idea? I will actually be doing this year at Christmas time, around about the 1st of December, I will be doing a competition for a bottle of ink. So stay tuned for that, and I might include some paper as well. It won't be a complex competition, but I just thought it'd be quite nice to do something, as I am now in the 400 subscriber region, which I'm so grateful for. I've really enjoyed doing this channel. The subscriber count doesn't really make too much of a difference to me, other than the fact that I would like to get to 1,000 subscribers by next year. If I got there by Christmas, I would be over the moon. But at the end of the day, I just want to try and grow the channel so that I can reach as many people as possible to share my love of writing and drawing with you. And I really want to try and share that journey with everyone. So thank you for watching, and please do join me next week in another video where I hopefully will be receiving a narwhal. So please do watch out for that video and stay safe. If you enjoy the content on this video, please do also consider subscribing. Hit that bell icon if you want to be notified for future videos, and consider, again, leaving a comment just to let me know what you want to see more of. Till then, stay safe and goodbye for now.